Alafia and welcome. My name is David Graham. I also go by Aoife at the Ifa Foundation International. And welcome to what I'm affectionately calling the Online Ifa Classroom. The Ifa Classroom was set up for a very simple reason. I am in a long-term relationship with a wonderful young woman who, like me, comes from suburban USA. And when I told her about my spiritual beliefs, my philosophy that I practice, like most people from suburban USA, her response was, "What is Ifa?" So I sat down with her and gave her a brief synopsis of the ancient African Ifa philosophy and what it means to be a Babalawo or an Ifa priest. And she was, like most people, very intrigued, having never heard of it before. Several months passed, and recently she came to me and said, "Honey, is there somewhere I can go to get more information on Ifa?" Now, bear in mind, she's not a very big book reader. Everyone learns differently. Her preferred methods are videos, audio books, etc. And so she said, "Is there anywhere I can go to listen to an audiobook on Ifa, find some videos on Ifa, begin to learn about this philosophy that you practice every day that you hold so dear?" My answer was, "I'm sure there is. I'll go out and find it for you." So I began to scour the internet for audiobooks or YouTube videos or any source other than written word about Ifa for someone with her background. What I found was disheartening, disappointing, and the reason for the online classroom. There is virtually, with the exception of the Ifa Foundation International, nowhere to go for people like myself, people like my significant other, Heather, to get simple, concise, clear information about this philosophy in English that's easily digestible. I don't speak Spanish. I don't speak Yoruba fluently. Neither does she. And neither do many North American Westerners who could greatly benefit from the wisdom, power, and effectiveness of the Ifa philosophy that we practice. Voila! That gave birth to the Online Ifa Classroom. So this is going to be a series of videos. I'm going to attempt to keep them 10 to 15 minutes or less for people just like Heather that would like a little bit more information about what Ifa is, how Ifa works, why we practice what we practice. Hopefully this will be a way to remove some of the hocus pocus, some of the mystery that is sometimes shrouding this philosophy. And hopefully give you guys a chance to also ask questions, direct you to places to get information, so that you can begin studying, learning, working this path as you so choose. Now, before we get into the first segment, I'm sure there are folks that will pull this video up, and the first question they'll ask is, what qualifies this young man to speak about the Ifa philosophy? So, very briefly, my qualifications include I have about 20 years of experience studying the Ifa philosophy in one manifestation or another, both experientially and academically. I was born a child of Oya under the Odu Osagunda. I was initiated in 2009 by the Ifa Foundation International under the Odu Erete Meiji. And I have received what we call in Ifa the Igba, or what they call in Santeria Lukumi Alofi, which is the highest honor a male Babalawo can receive. My Igba comes from Aluo Philip Nymarks, and his Igba comes from the late great Afalabi Apega. So that is a very brief Ifa resume, if you will, for those of you that want to know. So before we get into what exactly is Ifa, let's talk about what Ifa is not. Ifa is not Santeria. Ifa is not Lukumi. Ifa is not Vodun or Voodoo, as some of you call it. Ifa is not Candomblé. These are different traditions in different areas of the globe that certainly have a sprinkling or a touch of Ifa within them, and they were created through the slave trade or the diaspora. But these are not pure African Ifa as taught by the Yoruba people of what is now Nigeria in West Africa. So what is Ifa? Well, the simplest definition is that Ifa is a many thousands-year-old tradition. Some date at 6, some date at 10, but certainly upwards of 4,000-year-old ancient tradition stemming from what is now West Africa, specifically the Nigeria area. And it's an animistic tradition. And what that means is that those of us that practice Ifa believe in the worship and reverence of natural forces. It's important to understand from the top down that Ifa is a monotheistic tradition. What that means is we believe in one God, one supreme creative force that is self-existent, always was, always is, and always will be. You'll hear that force referred to by many names, Olorun, Olodumare, but in simple terms, it's one creative force. It's important to note that that is a benevolent force, meaning that the Creator created this planet, this universe, this world that we are a part of, to be self-sustaining and to be positive. Everything in nature, with the exception of mankind, works exactly how it is supposed to work for the betterment of itself, of the planet, and of the universe that we're a part of. It's also to understand that in African Ifa there is no devil. I will repeat that again. In ancient African Ifa there is no devil. There is no supreme evil force that is in constant battle with the Creator for your soul. Because Ifa is a logical, rational, positive philosophy or tradition, it's important to understand again that everything works exactly how it is supposed to work. The only problems that we create as humans are problems that we make for ourselves, typically through short-term decisions and instant gratification. It's also important to understand that one of the tenets that the Yoruba held so dear is that it is our birthright to be happy, successful, healthy, joyous, prosperous, etc. And how do we attain that birthright? We attain that birthright through acting with good character and through being in alignment with our destiny. And some of you at home are saying, that sounds great. I want all of that. How do I get in line with my destiny? And how do I walk with good character? Well, the answer is very simple. The answer is through divination. Simple for an Ifa priest, not so simple for someone at home. Divination, for those of you that don't know, is a reading. See, the Yoruba believed that everything in nature had consciousness, had energy of its own, and that we each have our own destiny. In order to know what that destiny is, and in order to make sure that we're in balance and following the path to our destiny, it was important to connect with spirit. Typically, that was done through an Ifa priest. So, average Yoruba man or woman would come to a Babalao, which is a male Ifa priest, or an Ian Ife, which is a female Ifa priest, and they would get a divination done. And there are several tools. I'll do another video specifically on divination. But the Ifa priest would triangulate with the energy of wisdom and knowledge of the universe. We call that energy a Rumula. And he or she would be able to tell the client if they were in balance with the forces working in their life or if they were not. If they were in balance, we would want to ramp them up, strengthen that balance so that the client could get the most out of it possible. And if they're not in balance, what area of their life would be affected? Was it their health? Was it their job? Was it their family? And what do we do to correct that imbalance, get them back on the path to their destiny so that they could be indeed happy, healthy, prosperous, etc. The path to getting back on your destiny or correcting imbalance can come in many forms. We typically define it, again, in simple terms as ebo, or sacrifice. The Yoruba understood that nothing in this world comes without sacrifice, and I'll give you an example. For those of you that want to go out and buy the newest car, you understand that that doesn't just come to you. In order to buy the new car, you have to make the sacrifice of waking up early, going to work, doing a good job, collecting a paycheck, saving your money so you can indeed buy the new car. It was the same thing with our spirituality. The understanding that we can go out and get help when certain areas of our life call for it, but that it's not for free. And in Ifa, we offer ebo, we offer sacrifice to invisible forces um, that can make our life better. Those forces include our ancestors, those blood relatives that are no longer with us but are in the realm of the invisible, that indeed operate in our day-to-day life. The Orisha, this is the part that many of you may or may not already know. The Orisha are aspects of nature, aspects of the universe, aspects that are within our own body, and I think aspects of consciousness that we can go to when we need certain things. Energies like the ocean, the mountaintop, thunder and lightning, the energies of the wind. The ancient wise men and women of Africa named these energies and knew there was ways to reach out, ask for help, and receive the ashe or the blessings back to make changes in our life. You have to understand that for the Yoruba men and women thousands of years ago, Ifa was not a religion. Ifa was not a philosophy. Ifa was a worldview. And you can see that through everything that they did, from their poetry to their music to their art to the way that they understood the world, the way they understood natural forces. Ifa was their science, it was their philosophy, it was their physics. It was indeed an all-encompassing view of the world. Very much unlike the West, where we do our thing Monday through Saturday, and then many of us wake up Sunday morning, go to church, touch our spirituality, and then go back to our daily lives. That's not the way that this was designed to work. Ifa is part and parcel to everything we do, every moment of the day. And it should be, and indeed is, married to our temporal everyday life. The Yoruba understood that they are not separate from one another. They are indeed woven together. Just like every action that we take affects our family, our community, our country, the planet we live on, the people that we live with. The Yoruba understood that we are symbiotic organisms in a constant relationship with each other, with our planet, and with the universe that we are a part of. So all that being said, that's a very basic, fundamental definition of the African tradition of Ifa. Again, my goal is to do several short videos, 10 to 15 minutes each, on topics such as the differences between Ifa and Santeria Lakumi. What are the Orisha? How do we make Ebo? What is divination? How does it work? Why does it work? Ancestor worship, and many other topics in detail. But if you're looking for a spiritual practice that is logical, rational, results-driven, that does not operate from fear, that does not believe in a concept like a devil, ultimate evil out to get you, that only wants you to be happy, healthy, successful, prosperous, and whose ultimate goal is your growth, your spiritual transformation, then give Ifa a try. Open your mind, open your ears, open your heart, listen, learn, and begin to take baby steps. I can assure you that Ifa will change your life for the better, and that you will get out what you put in. In the meantime, feel free to look at our website, www.ifafoundation.org. There are hundreds of pages of absolutely free information. You don't have to do anything to receive it. You can remain as anonymous as you like. If you have questions for me directly, feel free to email me. My email address is ifafore, IFAFORE, at ifafoundation.org, and I would be happy to answer any questions, concerns, comments, or criticisms. And look for another video in the coming weeks to begin to delve into this practice more in detail, how you can get involved, and to begin to talk about each one of these topics separately. Until then, take care of yourselves, take care of each other.